Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. The topic is the dip over? Because this is the 1 day Bitcoin chart. You can see that we did dip down to about $33,000 and people were like completely panicking. Well, $31,000 actually at 8:09 a.m. But as soon as people started waking up, we went back up to $40,000. It's about 39,900 right now at 11:49 a.m. So we basically recovered $8,000 once we actually dipped, and once we hit this point, the volume really started to pick up. So I think, well, now it's $40,400. I think like ever since we actually hit this bottom, people saw that was a good buying opportunity and buying it back up. So the biggest part of the dip might be over. You can see like the slope here was like much greater than anywhere else. And I think like this flash crash might have been like the March flash crash of last year, and now we are actually recovering. Obviously, the March flash crash we were much lower. We actually, if you guys don't remember, the March flash crash of last year, we actually dipped to like $3,800. We dipped to 31,000 this time, about 8 or 9 times higher than where we were last year. So, and on the yearly cycle, we're perfectly fine. And now I think like 31,000 might have been the bottom because people were talking about a 32,000 resistance. We did have a 38,000 resistance. Obviously, we went past that, but the 31,000 resistance resulted in a much bigger bump. And as Jake Chervinsky actually said, he saw a $3,000 premium on Bitcoin at this point on Coinbase, which is very bullish. That means people actually think Bitcoin is worth more than what it actually dipped to at the minimum. And that kind of thought could easily reverse a bear trend. So I think there's a decent chance that the worst of the bear run of the bear market might be over. We still might dip to like 35,000 or something, but I think it will bounce back because we showed at 31,000, we massively bounced back almost immediately, and we are now back to where we were basically last night before this major dip. Hopefully, like I said, I expect a V-shaped recovery, if not a V-shaped recovery, then a U-shaped recovery. I do expect things to be back to normal in about 2 weeks. I don't think this is just a dead cat bounce because it bounced back really hard within a couple of hours once we actually hit the low. And that just shows me that people actually think it's worth more than what people believe it is. I think that the whole Tether news and the China news kind of spook people, but people have to realize that China didn't really change its stance on crypto. It's basically the same stance on virtual currencies that they've always had. They've never had an exchange on the mainland. Every exchange is actually in Hong Kong, and people were just using VPNs to trade anyways. And as for the Tether stuff, I think that only scares a certain amount. And plus, there's other stablecoins like USDC or Paxos Standard, which are much more legitimate than Tether and safer than Tether as well. The Tether scare, for those of you that don't know, like the collateralized assets were like a bunch of exchangeable notes, I believe, like a bunch of like debt notes, and people expected it to be actual cash. So some institutions might have sold out to decrease risk. But that being said, MicroStrategy bought more. Grayscale still has all that money in. And I'm not really sure if Tesla sold or not. They might have, but I don't think Tesla's like a huge player in the market anyways. And people are finally realizing, hey, we don't have to do what Elon Musk says because he's not really that relevant in crypto. So based on those things, and the sudden bounce back, I do think we are probably going to start recovering soon, and I do expect a V-shape, if not a V-shape, then a U-shape recovery should be fairly quick. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.